5 years ago, I took the plunge and built my dream barndominium. Everyone told me I was crazy. They said I'd never be able to sell it. They warned me about resale value. Well, I just sold it last month, and I'm here to give you the brutally honest truth about what actually happened. Spoiler alert, some of what people told me was right, some was dead wrong, and there were surprises I never saw coming. If you're thinking about building or buying a barndominium, you need to hear this before you make that decision. Before we dive into the numbers, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me, are you considering a barndominium? Have you been worried about resale value? Let's talk about it. And make sure you watch until the end, because I'm sharing the 3 biggest lessons I learned that could save or make you tens of thousands of dollars. My build, the starting point. Let me set the stage. In 2019, I built a 2,400 square foot barndominium in rural Missouri. Total all-in cost was $245,000 including land, which I purchased for $45,000. The structure itself cost about $200,000 fully finished. That's roughly $83 per square foot, which was a steal compared to traditional construction at $150 to $200 per square foot at that time. The design was a classic barndominium with 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, open concept living, vaulted ceilings, and a 600 square foot workshop area. I went with a metal exterior, spray foam insulation, luxury vinyl plank flooring, granite countertops, and quality finishes throughout. Nothing crazy custom, but definitely nice. My original plan was to live there long term, but life happened. Job opportunity in another state, family considerations, you know the drill. So after 5 years, it was time to sell. The appraisal nightmare. Here's the first reality check. Getting an accurate appraisal was harder than I expected. Most appraisers in my area had limited experience with barndominiums. The first appraiser treated it like a commercial building and came in at $195,000. That was $50,000 less than what I paid to build it 5 years earlier. I was panicking. I pushed back and requested a second appraisal from someone with barndominium experience. That appraiser understood the residential quality, the energy efficiency, the durability of steel construction, and came in at $285,000. Same property, 2 completely different valuations. This is a real issue in the barndominium market. Not all appraisers get it. The challenge is finding comparable sales. In my county, only 4 barndominiums had sold in the previous 2 years. The appraiser had to expand the search radius to 30 miles, and even then, the comps varied wildly in style and finishes. Traditional homes have hundreds of comps. Barndominiums don't. This creates uncertainty. The buyer pool reality. Let's talk about who actually wanted to buy my barndominium. This was eye-opening. I listed at $289,000 based on the second appraisal. In the first 3 weeks, I had 12 showings. Here's the breakdown of potential buyers. For looking for hobby farms or homesteads, 3 want a workshop space for small businesses. 2 were retirees downsizing from larger traditional homes. 2 were young couples attracted to the modern aesthetic, and 1 was an investor looking for rental property. What I noticed immediately was that my buyer pool was niche. These weren't your average suburban families looking for a cookie-cutter house. These were people specifically seeking the barndominium lifestyle. Some showings were instant love. People walked in and said this is exactly what we want. Others walked in, looked around for 10 minutes, and left saying it's too different or not what we expected. The days on market were longer than traditional homes in my area. Traditional homes were selling in 30 to 45 days. Mine took 87 days. That's not terrible, but it's slower. The reality is barndominiums appeal to a specialized demographic. That means fewer potential buyers, but the buyers who want it really want it. Financing challenges for buyers. Here's something I didn't anticipate. 3 of my potential buyers couldn't get financing approved. Their lenders either didn't understand barndominiums or classified them as non-traditional construction and required larger down payments. 1 buyer was pre-approved for a traditional home, but his lender wouldn't finance my barndominium without 25% down instead of the standard 10%. He walked away. This was frustrating because it eliminated qualified buyers through no fault of the property. The financing landscape for barndominiums has improved since 2019, but it's still not as smooth as traditional homes. Farm credit lenders and local banks are more flexible, but many big national lenders are still hesitant. The final sale price. After 87 days on the market and some negotiation, I sold for $278,000. Let me break down what that means. My total investment was $245,000 in 2019. I sold for $278,000 in 2024. That's a $33,000 gain over 5 years, or about 13.5% appreciation total. Annually, that works out to roughly 2.5% appreciation per year. Compare that to traditional homes in my area, which appreciated at about 4 to 5% annually during the same period. A traditional home worth $245,000 in 2019 would have sold for approximately $305,000 to $320,000 in 2024. So yes, my barndominium appreciated, but at a slower rate than traditional homes in my market. However, here's the flip side. My monthly expenses were lower. My utility bills averaged $140 per month compared to friends in traditional homes paying $220 to $280. Maintenance costs were minimal. I never painted, replaced siding, or dealt with termite treatments. Over 5 years, I probably saved $15,000 to $20,000 in operating costs. The unexpected positives. Despite the challenges, there were genuine positives that surprised me. The buyers who were interested were really interested. I received 2 offers within a week of each other after the property had been listed for 75 days. Both buyers loved the open concept, the durability, and especially the workshop space. The winning buyer actually offered $3,000 over asking because he didn't want to lose it to the other buyer. The property showed incredibly well. The vaulted ceilings, natural light, and open floor plan made it feel massive. Several potential buyers commented that it felt larger than traditional 2,400 square foot homes they'd seen. The workshop space was a huge selling point for the right buyer. The person who bought it runs a small custom furniture business and specifically wanted integrated workshop space. The low maintenance aspect was attractive to buyers. Multiple people mentioned they were tired of painting, replacing rotted wood, and constant upkeep. The steel construction and metal roof were seen as long-term value. Several buyers specifically asked about the spray foam insulation and were impressed with the energy efficiency. The unexpected negatives. On the flip side, some negatives caught me off guard. Location mattered more than I expected. I was 15 minutes from town, which was perfect for me, but too remote for some buyers. Several showings ended with comments like, "We love it, but it's too far out," or "We need to be closer to schools." Barndominiums in more suburban adjacent locations seemed to move faster. The unique aesthetic was polarizing. Some people loved the industrial modern look. Others walked in and said it feels cold or doesn't feel like a home. There was no middle ground. Traditional homes appeal to a broader range of tastes. Barndominiums create strong reactions, positive or negative. Customization was a double-edged sword. I had poured concrete countertops in the kitchen, which I loved. Half the potential buyers loved them too. The other half saw them as something they'd need to replace. Any highly personalized choices can limit your buyer pool. Classic, neutral designs probably resell better. Lessons learned. After going through this entire process, here are my 3 biggest takeaways. First, barndominiums do hold value, but appreciate slower than traditional homes in most markets. Plan for 2 to 3% annual appreciation rather than 4 to 5%. If you're building as an investment to flip quickly, this might not be your best option. If you're building to live in long-term and enjoy lower operating costs, it's a great choice. Second, location is even more critical for barndominiums than traditional homes. Rural areas with established barndominium markets like Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri will have better resale potential. Suburban areas with restrictive zoning or limited comparable sales will be harder. Research your local market thoroughly before building. Third, build with resale in mind, even if you plan to stay forever. Avoid over-customization. Stick with neutral colors, classic materials, and functional layouts. Include desirable features like workshop space, covered porches, and quality insulation. These appeal to the broadest range of potential barndominium buyers. The honest bottom line. So, would I build another barndominium? Absolutely. Despite slower appreciation, I lived in a beautiful, comfortable, low-maintenance home for 5 years. I saved thousands on utilities and upkeep. I had workshop space for my hobbies. The quality of life was fantastic. Did I make a killing financially? No, I made a modest profit. But I also lived well for 5 years with lower costs than traditional homeownership. When you factor in the savings on utilities, maintenance, and the enjoyment of the space, the overall value proposition was positive. The key is having realistic expectations. Barndominiums aren't get-rich-quick investments. They're lifestyle properties that appeal to specific buyers. If you build smart, in the right location, with quality construction and resale-friendly design, you'll be fine. You might not see explosive appreciation, but you won't lose money either, and you'll enjoy unique, affordable living in the meantime. If you're considering a barndominium, don't let resale fears stop you, but don't ignore them either. Do your homework. Research your local market. Find out how many barndominiums have sold in your area and what they sold for. Talk to local real estate agents who have experience with barndominiums. Get multiple appraisals before building so you know the realistic value. And remember, real estate is always about location, condition, and market timing. Barndominiums are no different. A well-built barndominium in a good location with smart design will sell. It might take a bit longer, but the right buyer will come along. So there you have it, the complete, unfiltered truth about selling my barndominium after 5 years. Drop a comment and let me know your thoughts. If you're a barndominium owner, what's been your experience? If you're considering building one, what questions do you still have? And if you found this helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more honest real estate content, and share this with anyone thinking about barndominiums. Thanks for watching.